Ashafo Neti for a daily update TV. So now I will share no subscribe. Breaking news are abeto system in the where the full package. Obeka say breaking news anything. O share screen is wa a me de a joy news. Yamfa credit my joy news. I say Supreme Court by 4-1 majority decision dismisses application by Center for Citizenship, Constitutional and Electoral System seeking to halt processes to potentially remove Gertrude Torkono as a CJ. Ninyina ne say me breaking it down a fresh application a free citizenship Center for Citizenship and Constitutional and Electoral System. Omo de akodan Supreme Court share omo siki to halt the process of removing Chief Justice as Torkono. Eno na ene Supreme Court Justice Bafo Boni etna asem so no. Let us say empanyimfo nan a omo tena so no. Empanyimfo no no. Let us say omo 4-1. Let us say omo what vote against fresh petition no. Let us say petition de ko no Supreme Court Bafo Boni otena dwom no. Oma dismiss application no. And to share video now, there are some videos you do Justice Torkono ni kuno no. They are in shock over here so man a legal team no. They are walking out from Supreme Court in shame. This is a very breaking news. The best video no and that's on Wabara Supreme Court and a retroactive case dismissing who a Torkono kuno no. Share video ni our share space. Now, Omuwi and TV3 transi discuss this petition Musa Dankwa our global info analytics so the reviews by now first a year Nipa or Kasa TV3 Jumadens or see we a useless word petition or but say a year didn't or cast a useless petition and Trichimo was or the drop in Ras and Seminum. God bless you.
First of all, let me greet all our viewers. I'm excited that on a day such as this, we want to discuss Chief Justice and matters arising. In fact, let's go beyond what is being speculated now. I want to.
I don't understand. Are you saying we should have chosen a different subject?
I'm saying that it's good we're discussing it now because it couldn't have any other time better than today. Tadio Sori has responded, and I'm very much excited about his response. And he wrote something, and if you read what he wrote, there's a lot of meat in what he wrote.
What did he say?
He said it's a monstrous lie. If you want me to quote
he said it's a monstrous lie?
It's a monstrous lie.
You mean what he wrote on his Facebook?
On his Facebook, or in response to that useless petition.
You call the petition useless?
Very useless, and I will address why it's useless. He says that it's a monstrous lie. No such meeting took place. It is very easy to fact check that. We know those who get justice through negotiation.
He says we know what?
Those who get justice through negotiations. And I'm sure in the coming days, we will get to know exactly what he means by that. However, the gentleman called Adenta Kumi, the least said about him, the better.
Is he your friend?
I don't know where he belongs. He's my friend. I know him. I mean,
okay. So what has his person got to do with the petition?
But I am disappointed because this is a young man who claims he was an MPP at a point, picked up even nominations to contest in Adenta. Adenta.
He is MPP. You can't say he claims.
He claims. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Then when the movement for change came, he shifted to movement for change. I don't know when he left movement for change again. He's back in the MPP. Where exactly does he fit in this whole scheme of things? Is he MPP? Is he movement for change? Is he an independent candidate?
He's a citizen of Ghana. That should be outrightly the most important.
For such a person whose credibility is questioned about where he belongs, you think I should be worried about what he says? This is somebody who wants legitimacy with the MPP now.
You say he's not trustworthy? Is that what you're saying?
He cannot be trustworthy. He's not trustworthy. He knows that for a fact, and everybody knows that. This is somebody who is jumping from one party to the other. In the last 2 years or 1 year, he has been in about 4 or 5 parties. So where does he belong? How do we take on your own credibility into vis-a-vis what you're telling us today? You are talking about credibility, that there's a meeting that has gone on. And then he tries to say that it's in Santoku. Do you remember that 2 days before now, or before when he did his petition, the MPP said they are not going to Parliament. And that they are going to wait until President dissolve the committee and that they should stop that of the committee's work before they can go to Parliament. Excuse me. I know that Adenta Kumi is struggling to find credibility.
I don't understand. You're saying that this petition is just red herring? From
their own party's constitution, the MPP's own party's constitution. Once you left the party, you are coming back. There's a process. There is a process. So I don't even know whether it's MPP or NDC or whatever it is. So this is a young man struggling for credibility. And we do, the least said about him, the better. We are not going to have time to discuss.
Are you on a tangent of trying to tarnish the messenger instead of looking at the message?
I'm not tarnishing. This is record.
Is that what you have to do?
This is public record. Public record. It's been one time MPP, another time Movement for Change, another time Independent, another time now is MPP again. Really? This is the person we want to discuss? There are more juicier, more, real issues, credible issues to discuss on our platforms, not Adenta Kumi. Adenta Kumi, please. Now, I am happy that Tedesori has responded. And he has responded in a manner that is very subtle. He has responded in a manner that is very clear, at least to all well-meaning Ghanaians. How do you just get up and write a petition and say, you saw Tedesori? Tedesori one time used to be the lawyer for the Ghana Judicial Service, if you care to know. He's not one of those lawyers by the roadside that are begging, to earn a living or to negotiate a transaction and all that. In any case, the people in the case, the people who are handling the case are 5. The panel is made up of 5 people. You are claiming you saw 2 people out of the panel, including our own Justice Yoni Kulendi. This is somebody that if I were family members to these people, I would have been pushing them to go to court and punish this boy for throwing out that lie of an expose. That you saw people in Santoku restaurant and then they were having discussions. To the extent that he even said that the discussions bordered Santoku.
Santoku?
Yeah. Santoku restaurant. You know where it is?
No.
I think somewhere in Laboni or something. Villaggio, right? Then he claims that he actually heard them discussing the case. Can you imagine?
He didn't say they said the bystanders as well as the witnesses.
So whatever it is, he's placed that in the record. Because if he's invited today to speak to that issue, is he going to be
What's your
speaking to
point with that?
My point is that this is a young man struggling for credibility. This is a young man trying to look for acceptance in the MPP. This is a young man trying to please somebody out there. This is a young man who is struggling to understand what is happening even around himself. So I cannot, waste our energy time around this time discussing this Adenta Kumi.
You think it's
frivolous
the actions are deliberate?
Sent or, calculated by himself or trying to get public attention and all that. Whatever it is bogus, is useless, is reckless, and I think that is unfounded. And this is not something we want to discuss on a platform like this. Adenta Kumi, he should come again. We need somebody better to have a discourse on some of these issues. If, say, Roland, you go and make some of these allegations or, petition the president, we can have a discussion on that because we can trust your credibility. The messenger is as good as the message. You are saying that I'm trying to tarnish his reputation. No, I am not tarnishing his reputation, but I know that the messenger is as good as the message.
Adenta Kumi,
yes.
How about you, Kumi?
For a fact. You now want to mention all his full name. His name is Adenta Kumi. Alfred
Wanda Madilo in a double-breasted jacket, looking very corporate. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm good.
Great. Good to see you once again. And then, of course, the president of the Common Sense family with the Movement for Change. He's also an entrepreneur. That is Solomon also is right there. Solo, how are you?
I'm doing
good to have you. Good to have you. But we'll just take you through a number of what the, so to speak, petition has been saying that is asking the committee to be dissolved, so to speak, so that the processes are stopped. And it does indicate that there was an evening where there was a meeting. We have a protagonist, so to speak, the individuals, Justices Puamang, we have Dibu Siedu. They said it is alleged that they also say there was that meeting involving Justice Kolindi as well. They said they were seen to be having dinner with the counsel for one of the petitioners before the committee. Thaddeus Sorry. A number of cases, though, I guess, related to the petition, so to speak. And here we are today. And, well, the petition is to the president, Cezanne. And Adenta Kumi.
Yes.
Ababio Kumi, as I rightly mentioned his name.
He's
your friend, eh?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. He was one of the contestants of the primaries for the parliamentary candidateship of Adentan, I remember. Very strong gentleman, very vibrant as well, strong in the constituency. And so that also means that it dovetails into the latest petition, survey by Global Info Analytics. And they have the reputation for that. Musa Dankwa is joining us. Musa Dankwa, good morning. Please, okay. Good morning, Musa Dankwa, once again.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I wasn't hearing you the first time. Okay. That's very typical of a Ghanaian. That exclamation. But it's very curious, right? This is the second in the running of gauging public opinion on this whole process that the Chief Justice is going through. Why is it important to gauge the public opinion vis-a-vis the processes that are being undertaken? Because we're at the committee level, the probing is being undertaken.
Right. Thank you very much. Public opinion is public opinion. Public opinion is not supposed to shape the legal matters that is currently ongoing. But it's always important to understand where the public stand on some of these public issues. If you remember, when the issue started, we did a poll that showed that about 52% of Ghanaians were in support of the processes that were initiated for the removal of Chief Justice, supporting the process. But in between then and now, there has been a major decision that has been taken by the president, and that is the suspension of the Chief Justice after a prima facie was said to have been established by the Council of State. So she was suspended. So we wanted to know whether the public support the suspension. So we went back again in the field, sampled about 2,558 Ghanaians. And then this time around, slight majority, about 53% support the suspension. Remember, 5-2 were supporting the process, and a little bit more now support the suspension.
Does that mean that they support the actions of the president? Because I'm asking this question premised on the fact that there's been a lot of criticism, even inundation of the courts, just to injunct the process and questioning the decision of the president as taken per the advice of the Council of States in that process, also informing the committee subsequently.
I mean, clearly the public backed the president by a big majority of the 53%. Only 20% opposed to the suspension. 20% opposed to it. 12% were neutral, and 15% didn't have an opinion. So if you look at it, there's a huge support for the process, for the suspension, and very least support, least opposition for the suspension, one can say. So the president is with the public.
Did you do a mix or an inquisition into the demographics, which of the political divides they were coming from? And so then we'll form the mass of the 53% plus.
I mean, curiously, majority of all voting or party affiliations support the suspension, except MPP sympathizers. Among MPP sympathizers, 51% oppose the suspension, but 13% support it. Among the NDC, it is 87% who support it and 2% oppose it. Among floating voters, 54% support it, 9% from us. That showed that the Supreme Court is the least trusted higher court that we have in the country. So this stems from that kind of perception. And unless that perception improves, any action against the judiciary may not be resisted by the people.
All right. We'll see how we go with the next round of survey on how we can improve that perception for the judiciary. But all the best to you as well. I know that you're very busy, and so we would want to then move on and come to our discussants. Wanda Madilo, this falls squarely on the corridors of power, the presidency. How do you take this coming from the survey and then also a petition on the decks of the president citing the circumstantial incidents that has been cited in that petition, that again question the work credibility of the committee in itself and the whole process?
Let's on until there's any empirical evidence to prove otherwise, I agree with him, because that's not whom he is, and he won't do that. He won't descend that low. He won't descend that low. No. I also know Justice Yonuklendi, let me say briefly, and I also know that he will not descend so low to do this. So I can vouch in my own small corner and in my own small area where I sit, and I haven't met this great gentleman of the land and great gentleman of their legal professions. Remember, I'm not a student of law and I'm not a lawyer, but having seen them, some of them like Teddy, I've seen him closely work, they can never and they will never do this. If tomorrow empirical evidence, irrefutable evidence is brought to road, then I'm prepared. For now, I'll say no, it has never happened. Then again, I move to the case, but I've made a cool process that with regards to the broader case, my position is stated. There are certain things that I want to talk about, I want to state about, especially with regards to the global info analytics issues.
About the perception?
Yes.
53% of Ghanaians say the process is no problem at all.
I'm really surprised.
Why get worried? You are the only doubting Thomas.
I didn't say I'm worried. And secondly, I said I was a doubting Thomas when it came to the two gentlemen. Let's say, when it came to Teddy Sorry and Yonuklendi. I am completely doubting because it never happened too. But when the whole process to remove the Chief Justice, I have said that problem with it. And I'm really surprised that it's only about 53% of people that support it, considering the salacious allegations fed to the public on these issues. Considering how the presidency, the seat of government, has micromanaged this process, especially with the flow of information. That a prima facie has been gotten against this person, yet only 53 or 50% approve it. It's really amazing. Because I would have thought that it should have been a stampede. I would have thought that, considering what has been put out there, it should have been 70 to 80%.
Why should we have 70 to 80% based on your own margins to be supporting?
No, because in
relation to public opinion of Ghanaians, Dr. Zato.
I'm telling you why. Why? Because so far, the public has been fed one side.
Who has fed them?
I don't know. But they have been fed. And I'm trying to tell you who fed them.
Dr. Zato, you said the public has been fed. Who feeds them? And then you say you don't know, Dr. Zato.
Somebody fed them, the public. Somebody told the public that when the Council of State voted, they voted 30-1 to find prima facie case. The Council of State operates like what? A conclave. Nobody is supposed to know the deliberations of it. It's supposed to be in camera, right? But all of a sudden, we are told that Not only have people seen literally the ballot papers, they know who abstained.
Who told you?
There was news on public news. On
Which station is telling you that they've seen the ballot papers of the Council of State, Dr. Zato?
The station that told me that it was voted 30-1.
Which station? Which station, Dr. Zato?
Which station? There was a news that...
Are you basing your comments, and mind you, based on your expertise as well and your own political stakeholdership, on public opinion, or you're basing this on fact that this was broadcast on a media platform?
It was broadcast on a media platform that 30 the vote in the conclave.
Which station said that, Dr. Zato?
I'll make it available to you, but can I make my point?
Please do.
That the government officials, government communicators, official government officials and government communicators have communicated that the vote in the Council of State was 30-1. And we also told that it was the former Chief Justice who abstained from the vote. My question is, how did official government communicators get this information when the deliberations inside there were supposed to be secret? Now, if you feed this information to the public, look, this woman has already been found to have a prima facie case in the Council of State. And that based on whatever evidence the Council of State got, there are 31 there who voted, that 30 of them voted to find a prima facie case, but only one voted not to get a facie case. And then you feed this information to the public, that is a slam dunk. So that also goes to support, explain why I'm saying that I'm really surprised that it's only 53%. Secondly, if you look at the allegations against this woman, some of them were very salacious. She traveled with family members. They flew in first class. They flew in premium classes. She paid per diem to family members. If I am sitting somewhere and I don't even know where the airport is. I've never been to the airport. And you tell me that there's a public official flying across the country with public money, and then you ask me, is the person guilty? Of course the person is guilty. So I'm saying that based on this, then I'm surprised that the number is this low. There's also something that I realized. We are told that these deliberations so far are supposed to be in camera. We're not supposed to know what is happening. But something happened. A petition was first sent to President Akufo-Addo on this same Chief Justice. And President Akufo-Addo sent the petition to the Council of State, and they returned with no prima facie case. Akufo-Addo did something. He published that report. He published the view of the Council of State. And it is out there in public. Did he break the law when he did that?
The published what view? There was a letter he appended. Yes, and inherent in that letter is the view of the Council of State, or the position of the Council of State. So it's not exactly the position of a Council of State in a lettering or a notice to the public.
I'm saying in that letter,
because there are differences, right?
In that opinion, we saw how the Council of State or the advice to the people, we saw how they go to know. So we saw how they got to know to say that no prima facie. We saw that. And it is out there in the public sphere. The public can read it, the public can study it.
But the presidency has done same in this instance.
No, so far we haven't seen the report or the letter from the Council of State stating clearly this is the charge, this is what it is. We haven't seen that, or I haven't seen that. My point is that why can't we do that? Why can't we put more there? Then go. This woman, so far we've said, is sitting there. It's a sitting duck. And is taking all the charges. And she has no way to speak for herself. She has no way to respond to herself. Politicians and political activists and social activists are speaking for her. She's the duck. And then we are only hearing that this is what is happening. So for me, based on all the above, I'm really surprised that it's only 53%. That I wouldn't have been surprised if the figure was higher than that. I wouldn't have been surprised.
You're a member of the MPP. The only 20% of the MPP members.
Again, my argument is that based on the gamut of information that has been fed to the public so far, based on everything there, I'm really, really surprised that's only 53%. I would have thought that it should have been more than that.
What's your percentage again?
I was thinking 50 to 80. Sorry, 70 to 80. 70 to 80. Now, if that would have been a slam dunk.
Okay, so if it was 70 to 80% by way of public opinion, as published by Global, you would have accepted that.
I'm not saying I'm not accepting this. Okay. I'm not rejecting this number.
Okay, but you're surprised.
I'm surprised at it. I'm surprised that it's so low. It's like what saying that Real Madrid has come to play Asante Kotoko and they will struggle to beat them.
Are you equating the subject matter of the Chief Justice, the suspension, the investigation to Real Madrid and Kumasi Asanteko? Is that what you're doing?
I'm giving an example to understand what I'm saying. That I'm not rejecting the 53%.
The two scenarios.
I'm saying that it is too. No, it's not.
The two scenarios are the coterminous.
I don't know. I'm just telling you that based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard, I would have expected a higher number. But the fact that the number is still slow like this, I'm surprised.
Level. Then all of a sudden the petition comes. A public opinion majority, 53%, also says that, look, we support the president. The processes so far